Pakistan and Iran are now entering a new era in bilateral relations. President Masood Pezeshkian's recent visit to Pakistan comes just days after the Pakistan and Qatar-mediated US-Iran talks in Bürgenstock, Switzerland, where both sides agreed to continue technical negotiations towards a final agreement that is to be done in 60 days' time. At the same time, Islamabad and Tehran are pushing to expand trade, improve border infrastructure, strengthen energy cooperation between each other, and also deepen regional connectivity. All eyes are now on how both the countries can turn diplomatic momentum into a lasting political and economic gain. To discuss that in more detail, we've been joined by two guests. Let me introduce them to you one by one. In the studios, we've been joined by none other than Dr. Usman W. Chohan. He's a leading economist, belongs to now IRS, and old guest who's been coming to our show for years and years. Thank you very much to return to Beyond Borders after a long hiatus, Usman, and welcome to Beyond Borders. In the last few years, in the last few decades, and also recently, the way Pakistan has handled the Iran-US crisis is a chapter that will be written in stories or books on foreign affairs in times to come. Usman Chohan, Pakistan and Iran have set ambitious targets as far as trade is concerned between the both countries. Yet to date, they have not yet managed to attain those targets. What have been the obstacles so far?
Yeah, first of all, it's such a pleasure to be with you. I must insist on this. It was wonderful to be on your program after so long. And you're correct to observe that there is so much potential for trade and for cooperation economically between Iran and Pakistan, and it has been held back. Of course, since the revolution, Iran has been under a wide blanket of sanctions, among the most sanctioned countries on earth. There are primary and secondary sanctions involved. The primary ones go directly for them, but the secondary ones mean that if you trade with Iran, you can't trade with America. Therefore, there was a lot of deterrence against engagement with that, which is tragic for Pakistan, not to mention for Iran, that a 900-kilometer border and very complementary economies could not reach the maximum. You're aware that it's just a few $1 billion per year. It is tiny. This sanction regime now appears to be lifting. Perhaps it'll be entirely lifted, and therefore the doors will open to a vast swath of opportunities for Iranians and for Pakistanis. It'll probably be the best boost to our economy that could have naturally occurred. So not because of a technological revolution or some demographic issue, but a true revolution because this potential had been latent for so long.
And of course, we should not forget the effect it's going to have on Iran if these sanctions are eventually lifted after so many years future as well. Usman, the formal notification of the Taftan railway station, this was something that we were waiting for some time, as a land customs station, is now being described as an important step. How much of a difference can such a formal notification on a railway station make on trade between the two countries? Secondly, if custom procedures, rail connectivity and border infrastructure continue to improve as we expect them to, which industries stand to benefit the most from both the sides, Iranian and Pakistani?
It's a positive sign, you know, but it wouldn't be the full story, because Taftan indicates to you that Pakistan and Iran are serious about having rail connectivity. Now, there's three reasons why rail connectivity of this sort makes perfect sense for us. The first is efficiency, the second is oversight, and the third is multimodality. Multimodal transport leads to greater efficiencies. It also leads to an optimization between the routes that are involved. Then there's the efficiency thing, because moving things in bulk across train at the volumes we're talking about, in addition to pipelines for energy, means that the volume of trade can be much larger at a much lower cost. And the third is that at the oversight, so customs, as you mentioned in the question, is a very important part of it. We have had trade with Iran even during the sanctions era, but it was not overseen properly, and that creates a lot of inefficiencies, a lot of rent seeking, and a bad consumer end price here for what we buy, and a bad consumer end price on the other side. So what you want is for oversight, customs, revenue extraction that is appropriate, and at the same time a large volume of trade happening. So Taftan is a symbol of that, but we would like multiple avenues, multiple corridors, and as was previously mentioned, connectivity is good. Connectivity implies that we are a bridge between countries, But actually, the truth is that we ourselves are a very important end market here. Iran fulfills the very needs that we need. So everything coming to Taftan can be just for us, as in we being the end consumer, Iran is very important to us.
That's very interesting perspective, and I think there's a whole mechanism around the Taftan railway station that needs to be implemented in letter and spirit. Usman, beyond increasing trade volumes, in your point of view, how can Pakistan attract investment from Iran and of course encourage joint venture in different sectors like, for example, energy, mining, agriculture, logistics? What practical steps are needed now to deepen economic cooperation? Is it banking channels? Is it barter trade? Is it border infrastructure, customs reform, direct transport links? To turn this recent visit of the Iranian president, the Iranian foreign minister and his delegation into measurable economic progress?
The short answer is it is all of the above.
Okay.
The longer answer is that there is a deep complementarity between us and them. If you look at our economy, the most important reason why we face deficits and hardships is because we are an energy deficient country which has a lot of potential. So if you address this energy deficiency, you will address your current account issues, your fiscal account issues, your import bill goes down, and Iran is crucial in that. Iran has 12% of the world's petroleum, at least. It has what, 1 trillion cubic meters of gas, and it could address at least, even if, so we have a demand of about, let's say, 4 billion per day, cubic feet per day. So they could give you 750 million daily. That means that at least 20% of your daily requirements for gas could be addressed. That's the kind of thing that would bring a huge advantage to your economy at a naturalized cost structure. But at the same time, Iran's economy has suffered tremendously because of the war and because of sanctions. So there's a lot of things for which they have demand, which can be the primary staples. They love our rice, they love our mangoes, they love our textiles, they love all of those things. You will see a huge boost to our agriculture sector. You will see a huge boost to our industry as well. And the industry will also get a boost from the cheaper gas and cheaper electricity. So in a sense, there's no two countries that could have such good cooperation. For example, the Arabs cannot fulfill Iran's requirements because they have similar economies. India or China cannot fulfill the same requirements that Pakistanis because they're not energy surplus countries. So these two countries being together is an amazing thing for both.
All right. Last question in 2 parts. I want a very short answer because we're short of time. What sectors need to be prioritized in your point of view? Is it energy, food, agriculture, barter we've talked about, transport, or petrochemical, something we've not talked about? Also, energy cooperation has always been discussed between the two countries, and as with the easing of sanctions, there could be a lot of opportunities there as well. How realistic is it to expect meaningful progress in this domain as well?
I think the political will exists. That's the most important thing, because there's no shadow of sanctions that we anticipate. The oil markets are acting as if there will be no more war between the two countries, between US and Iran. So for us, the priority should be energy, which means petroleum and gas, including petrochemicals and secondary products. And for the export side, Pakistan should start with the primary and move up the value chain, because you will see demand in Iran across their cities for everything that Pakistan produces. So you should focus on agriculture and manufacturing, and then we will get later to the tourism and everything as things normalize as well. There's plenty, a full scope, a full spectrum of cooperation.
Thank you very much, Usman, to have come all the way to the studios and to have discussed economy as we always do. It's always a pleasure to discuss economy with you, because you give us so many dimensions of called or on the face unilateral approach. You give a very dynamic approach to how things could be seen from different angles. Thank you very much again to have joined us, Usman.